So your business has been betrayed and you're struggling. But after you've rebuilt, you hit a financial wall. What do? How do you honestly and practically help your business move forward? You see, my business was betrayed. I was betrayed. And I've realized after losing everything, building back a brand new business, growing beyond where I was before, betrayal is always running in the background. Hi, my name is Nigel, and in this episode, I wanted to share with you how to fix your finance after you've been betrayed. You see, after a career as a school teacher, I established a tutoring and learning center where I served more than 1,000 families over 10 years with a staff of more than 18 tutors. At the end of it, in the final year, I turned a client into a business partner, authorized her to deposit money. She ran off with all of the money. After the entire 24 months of litigation, I was told by Maryland Court of Special Appeals, go right back down, start all over again. I lost the money. I lost the money I paid the attorney. I was forced out of where I lived. My office closed. My son was pulled from college. And I had to start all over again with nothing. I started from zero. Starting from zero is good and bad. Hear me out. When you're starting from zero, you might have $0 in the bank, but you have relationships, you have skills, and you have knowledge that you could apply. So starting a brand new company in a brand new vertical, I was able in the last 7 years to build a little more than $5.3 million as a restoration contractor. I'm not using that to brag. I'm using that to share that I used what I was good at to move forward. But I started out speaking about fixing your finances after betrayal. Because in the back of your mind is always playing the tune of betrayal. It affects you when you're hiring. It affects you when you're delegating. It affects you when you're outsourcing. It's a permanent stain on the back of your mind. And the more that you realize this, the easier you could overcome it. Yeah. The easier you could overcome it. Betrayal is not the end. You can rebuild after being betrayed. You can rebuild on any day that you say to yourself, I can get back up. When I first was approached to do this series by two friends, I thought they were crazy because in my mind, nobody don't want to hear that. But she made a statement to me that I dwell on. After you lost everything, you were able to rebuild, crossing $1 million year after year and building something successful. And it's true. And it's selfish of me not to think of it like that. Look, I'm a teacher. And the only thing that I can do from a lesson that I learn is share it with somebody else who can benefit from it. And when I was betrayed, I lost my identity. I lost my sense of trust in myself. I lost my sense of filter. So at that time when my finances were jacked, I was scrambling left and right. And these are the two actions I wanted to share with you what to do. Number one, make a full list on all of your financial commitments and who's owed. Take a blank sheet of paper like this. I jot down some notes because I'm nervous for this YouTube thing. But you're going to write on one column all the people that you owe. This is your debt list. On the other side, your access to cash. How much cash you have today. Don't tell me what you can do in 30 days. Don't tell me what you can do next 6 months. I don't want to hear no projection. I want to know what's in your hand, what's in the bank, what checks you have, and that's it. When you total up those two figures, that's your situational number. I owe $360,000. I only have $35,000. That's where I start. What could I do with the $35,000 to move me forward? Is where your first question comes. The second question is, how much is the mere minimum I need to run this month? And this takes into consideration your family, your living bills, your expenses, you got telephone, you got insurances, you got vehicle payment, you have office rent, you have staff and payroll, all of that. You needed the minimum what you needed. Because once you don't have true figures, everything is plain in your head. And the truth is, you play the number in your head and you always underestimate what it actually is. Or sometimes you inflate it too. But when I wrote down everything, I was sitting in a parking lot. I had $147 in my bank account. It was 4 o'clock in the morning. My family was staying in my friend's basement. And I sat down there crying because the year before we did $500,000. The year before we did about $450,000, $300,000. The year before we did. So for the greater part of 10 years, I saw nothing less than about $300,000, $400,000, $500,000. Here I am, authorized a single person to manage the money, and she ran off with all the money. I willingly give her that permission. I willingly allow her to betray me. So I'm telling you, your first action, write it down. Total it up. And then ask yourself the next question. What's the single skill or service I can provide and charge the most amount of money? Sounds weird. When I was doing tutoring, we were charging parents $30 an hour. Then we raised it to $60 an hour. I was selling monthly subscription. And each month, those cards were run. And you saw the pot of money come in there, and that give you your operational budget. But I lost control of that. I authorized somebody else to manage the money. She saw money, think it's hers, run off with it. Tens of thousands of dollars. So here I am now with a brand new business, and every time I'm about to make a major decision, a few months ago, somebody who sells closet and cabinets approached me for a partnership. You guys gonna do the work installing all of the cabinets. I'll supply you. The judgment in the back of my head, that's another partnership. This is what comes out. Instead of sitting down and evaluate each by themselves, you get consumed in the emotion. Betrayal leaves at the back of your mind a feeling that nothing can easily removed. That lady is left and gone and doing whatever she has to go on with. I no longer deal with her son, her husband. No longer. Years ago this happened. But at the back of my mind, that one thought is always there. Do I trust myself? Is this the right judgment? Is this... And it's not an impractical decision. It's not an impractical question. It's not an impractical self-reflection. But when you're in the middle of any financial chaos, it comes to the surface. And it sometimes dictates what you do. So you're running on the betrayal avoidance schedule. instead of you running on, this will serve my business, this is good for our next step, this is how we will move forward. I went into what we call revenge selling. The first year after that, I was out working and marketing, and there were single months when I was spending $10,000+ in Google ads. Single months. There were single months when we deposited more than $100,000. There were single months when we billed more than $120,000 because I was on a revenge sprint. I wasn't working out of, I am doing this for the benefit of the company. I was working out of, I was desperate to get my life back together. Things done out of desperation time and again are not the best of choices. And there's some choices I've made that I look back in hindsight, they were completely fueled by just desperation. And I'm sharing with you, your first action, document everything. Draw a line. This is your debt. This is your access to cash. And at the end of that, the next thing you want to do is document how much do I need it to exist this month. Not next month, not 3 months from now, not 4 months from now, just this month. That's going to help you. That's going to help you to move from where you are to where you need to be. Because as you document, as you measure, you're going to get a clearer picture on what you're dealing with. Look, betrayal doesn't have to be the final thing. You could take back control. I've had to take back control of the entire situation. So whenever the betrayal music starts up in my head and those gremlins start speaking, I know what to do. Because I can look at where I am. Last summer, I went with the intention of buying an apartment building, and I started this aggressive business sprint. I buried myself into $360,000 of expenses. And one of the companies that we did work for filed bankruptcy, and completely that money is disappeared. Yeah. The company folded, I'm out of payment. At that time, I almost panicked. But my wife made a statement to me that I'll share with you. Take a minute and evaluate how you were able to get out the last time, and ask yourself, what are the things I can do today to rebuild? And I've done that. Very straightforward, very simple. Yes, I'm going to do all of the litigation portion and try to this and try to that, but the company filed chapter 7. They're dissolved. They're completely no more. And all the work we did, and all the remodeling we did, and all the this and all the that, and I'm still fighting to collect $269,000. Yeah. 8 months removed from the situation. Sharing this because time and again, when you operate from the framework of betrayal, and that is what is fueling your identity, and that is fueling your decision making, and that is fueling your motive, you will make rash, irrational decisions. Let me ask you a question. Which is easier, moving forward or staying stuck? Ask yourself the simple question. Which is easier, moving forward or staying stuck? Look, below this video, I'm going to leave a number of resources that you can sit down and do a quick evaluation. I'm going to start with a little quiz, what we call a self-assessment. It's the very first tool my coach helped me with, because it's what helped me to even choose restoration. Where instead of me selling $360, I'm selling $8,000. It's what helped me in 18 months to move from loss of all my money to $1.1 million. Not using numbers to brag. Sharing that to simply say, you can use what you know by using a system that works. So I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be open and I'm going to make some tools available. If this serves you or if this serves one person that you know, share it with them. Like and subscribe to this. Thank you.